Hey guys, this is Juno and welcome back to another account review. Today we are on Yern's account who wanted a review with, let me take a quick look, on RTA and also would like help on building a DB Abyss hard team. Oh I see, he pulled a Liam recently and he can't get the timing or damage right since he just couldn't get swap working. I see, yeah. I understand that. To be fair, without swap, it is pretty difficult because you're really eyeing the things. I know for people that have worked with that team for a while, kind of know the approximate stats you need to get that team working. To be fair, it shouldn't be too hard because there are examples out there. There are YouTube videos out there that show you the build, show you the stats, and you know the numbers. So if you could figure out and try to get those numbers as close as possible, I am pretty sure you could get that team working, but we'll take a look nonetheless. So RTA and that, so woo, looks like he has some fun toys to play with. Giselle, definitely good for arena defense. I do think Giselle is probably one of the better arena defense units because if you fail to, let's say, strip her and reset her, then it could be very annoying because usually in an AL, there isn't a whole lot of strips. If your single target stripper fails and Giselle puts up invincibility, I think you're in big trouble. You have Shun, I believe. That's the more fun Shadowcaster. And then Kiara, I believe, which is the Dark Amazon Warrior, if that's her name. I'm not too sure. His best arena record was P2. His best RTA record was F3. Okay. He's been playing for, or at least his account was created for 1,400 days. Let's see his DB Abyss hard team. Okay, he's going with it with a minute run. So that is pretty slow. Even with the cheaper Deva twin option, gets a quicker time than this. And it's very easy to make that team. Okay, interesting GB Abyss hard team, 30 seconds. Wow, I didn't know that this worked. I should see that. That looks interesting, right? I kind of want to see that and check if it's really working. Ooh. Let's take a look. I want to know if it's consistent. That's the thing. It can't be consistent, right? Because if Lucian does not use that there. Oh, wait a second. No. I thought Luna will clean up there. Oh yeah, this is not 30 seconds. That had to be the quickest time. I'm actually surprised that he doesn't revenge. It goes through everything. Like 40 second-ish, I think. That's still very fast. 36 seconds, that's actually very fast. I want to see the run time when Lucian does not use skill 3. Or does he also have some kind of AI where if they're lesser than 30%, he prioritizes skill 3? If there is that, then that's actually cool, right? Oh yeah, that's good. I like this team. Why don't people run this even more when they don't have Teshar? And there's a safety net with the Homunculus too. So even if everybody dies, Homunculus should be able to clean up. Okay, so this is gonna take a little longer. I'm gonna just run it one more time and check if Lucian ever derps. 40 seconds, but that's still very fast for not having Teshar. 38 seconds. Yeah, I mean, if it doesn't go over 40 seconds, that's a good team. Does Lucian ever derp? If he does it again this time, then I'll just give it to him. Okay. I think, you know what? This is a great team. Great team. Yep. Okay. Let's go check out swap first. Okay, I inputted his swap file. If we go to runes, I will make this slightly smaller so it's better to see. He has a total of only 1,400 runes, another low number. I think we have seen that in our last review as well. When we did that review, that account owner had a very strict rule with his runes, so he had, well, half of his runes were over 100% efficiency. 6-star, 12 to 15. That's 1,300 runes. Efficiency 110. 16 runes. Okay, not the quickest. 100%. 150 runes. So 160 runes over 100% efficiency. That's around 10-15%. And that is what we usually see. So still a lot of work to do. I'm guessing that grinds and gems is going to be an issue because low efficiency usually means not doing R5 as much. Despair runes, quickest, 25 ends at 21. So definitely one of the weaker accounts we've seen recently. Swift, 31. This could be 32. There's another 29, which could be 30, 27. 20. Okay, decent Swift runes. But we do see lack of grinds and gems here. I guess he's a Swift farmer. And I kind of understand that because his dungeon team is actually decent. Violent, 28, ends at 21. Okay. Grind issues, I see. Will, 28. Oh, also grind issues. These are decent runes here. This could be 29. This could be 28. Another 28. Ends at 21, which could be 22. Okay, I mean, R5 definitely looks like something you should work on. I think for anybody that wants to get into PvP quickly, especially things like an RTA, should work on R5 because technically that's the easiest way you could improve your account, your builds, because you're working with what you have. Farming for runes is really looking for something new, and that's really hard, right? You're looking for another triple roll, another quad roll, usually into speed. If you're farming violence, I guess you could say that you're just looking for very efficient violent runes because technically you can play second turn and violent runes really help with that. But usually you're looking for higher speed, and in that case, it is going to be even harder for you to find an improvement. It really depends on where your account is at, where your rune quality stands, because the lower it is, the easier to find an improvement, and the higher it is, harder. At his point right now, yes, I do think he could find some better runes overall, because his first page shows speeds of 21, 22, and getting improvements here shouldn't be too hard, but it still requires a triple roll. Is it going to be higher than 28? Probably not in a very long time. So if he wants to really work with his current pool of runes, R5 is what you should work on, and obviously with that, Rift Raid, because gems are something too. So that's what I'll work on if you want to get better in RTA, as you have suggested for the review. And also finally, for dragons, probably more of a damage set you're looking for. Things like Rage or Fatal. So if you think your damage runes are decent, maybe the grinds are what is pulling it down. Because maybe you could get 100 or 200 more damage here and there. But because of the grinds or gems, you're lacking that. Let's first look at dragons. I don't really have a opinion here. I personally don't like that Liam team because if Shaina derps, doesn't use the skills correctly, you don't really get the performance that you want to see. But it is still faster than any other team out there. I think even if Shaina does not use skill 2 on the first and third wave, you should still be getting like a 30-second run if your damage dealers do enough damage, which allows the Liam to use skill 3. By enough damage, I'm saying to put the dragon's health below 30% or around that range, right? Because with the AI, if it is below 30% or around that range, Liam prioritizes skill 3. So you are, okay, Shaina looks a little slow. I believe Shaina has to be plus 120. I might be wrong though, it's been a while since I made this team. I also don't really recommend a crit damage build, especially if you can't get the accuracy. If you know, dragons have decent resistance, so this could definitely wreck you. And that's what I hate the most, is that Shaina fails to defense break. Even if she uses all of her skills correctly on the first and third wave, if she misses her defense break on the boss, you could get screwed. That's the biggest reason why I hate this team. I don't advise it too much, because really from a 27-second average, right? Well, it's not really an average because there are times when Shaina derps. The average is more in the 30-second range, I believe. 30, maybe 32. And then the other team, which is more consistent, which is the Deva Verd, if you have a hard-hitting team, you could get it in the 40-second range, and that's consistent. And it's harder to fail in that because you have a Lauren, which puts consistent defense break pushbacks. And even if it fails defense break once, it always comes back to it again. There's also multiple units that put defense break. Yes, it could take longer if that does happen. So I won't say the average is around 40 seconds. Maybe it could be like 42, 43 because of those cases. But I just feel like that's safer, easier to do than trying to run for this team. Again, it just could be a Rune issue. If you could output enough damage, maybe it is 100% safe. And the average being around the 30-second mark, 10 seconds is still no joke. You might want that. I just know that the faster the run is, the more you have to put into the game, either because you play all the time. I guess that's not true. If you're more of a casual player and you're stacking crystals anyhow, how you play, then maybe having a fast team is best, right? Because then in that short amount of time that you play, you get to make out the most of it. But for players like me, and obviously players, more end game players, they are probably running their dungeons 8 hours a day, 6 hours, 10 hours a day even. I don't know. I know some people even share their account with people that lives in a different area. For example, if I'm PST, I'll give my account to someone I know in Korea, and while I'm sleeping, he'll run the dungeons for me, which is actually insane. I do not do that. I don't have a friend that can do that for me. But I know that there are people that do that and also offer it as a service. So I think that's absolutely insane. But just know there are people like that out there that do run their account almost 24/7. So if you're somebody like that, and if you have the funds to support that, then sure, go for the fastest team, because I can't imagine the amount of improvement you are getting compared to the more casual players. That's just absolutely crazy. But I do think Shine is a problem. Accuracy is way too low. I do know that Julie should hit decently hard. Cut should be 100. Okay, there's just way too many problems in this team. I'm guessing that he's getting away with this Julie for Giants because of the Lucian, because Julie doesn't have to really do a whole lot of damage, and Lucian could clean up. If he's on 100 crit rate, I should check that. Okay, so this is not even being used. I see. Konami is fine. He is at least trying to get all the fight sets. Luna? Was Luna used here? No, this is what Liam is gonna replace. At least it's 100 crit rate. I don't know. From his rune quality, it should be, from what I've seen, it should be doable. I just didn't go into depth in the Rage and Fatal builds. But I want to say that he could do it. That's all I want to say. There's no reason for him to not be able to do it. If anything, please scale up your units like the Julie, right? It should be fully scaled up. Perfect. Is anything not fully scaled up? Nope, that's good. Okay, and then you had Liam, you said. I'm guessing you just really pulled it recently, so it's not even built. I might have missed it, but he said he had it. So I'm gonna assume that's here somewhere. I just don't see that unit. I might be blind. Who knows? Okay, let's go into RTA. He has a 50% win rate with 540 games. I think if you're playing this much, I think if you follow or watch other players play, follow their build, follow their play style, I think you should be able to get into C1 and up, to be fair. From the rune quality we've seen, it's not horrible. Actually decent in a way. Definitely for C1. But seeing that he's struggling getting there is impressive at its own. Hey gang, Despair Will, 50% accuracy. I think that's fine. I mean, higher the better, but it's not like super slow either. Josephine, not on the crit damage build, definitely would go for that. Violent Will. Minato, okay, very low crit rate. I wouldn't use it like this. I think Minato needs high crit rate, to be fair, if you want him to do an impact in the game. Chandra. Ooh, I'm guessing there are efficiency issues. Yeah, exactly how I guessed it. If you look at these builds, they're missing grands and gems. They're missing max runes. Not good to see. Suiki. Surprised that this is the only build you could get with this type of build. Not even 100 res. I tell people that if you can't get 100 res, just don't go res. Just go for more stats. It's not worth the hassle. Because every time you get controlled, you're going to blame this. And there's a good chance it is because of this. But your expectation is that this should be doing something. But it won't. That's the truth of it, because even when you give it 100 res, sometimes it doesn't work. And you're like, dude, res is a joke. Res is a non-existent stat. Imagine that happening when you give it this much res. It's just not worth the hassle. Just get rid of it. Shahat. 100 res, 100 crit rate. Leo, I don't know if I made you do this, but I think this number was different. I think this number was like 3 times higher. What's the point of 100 res if your Masha is gonna, if your Leo's gonna die from a fire monkey, a Masha, or Tessarion turn 1. Even without the defense break, I think it's gonna die. Yeah, the builds are questionable. Chiyu not on max accuracy is questionable as well. If you want to use this as a first turn unit, I would want my strip to land. But 48 seems a little low. Veladrul, you went with crit damage without the crit rate, which I don't like doing. I could tell that the runes aren't that efficient from the scores. There's a couple that are, but it had to be that crit damage rune when it's not going to really help without crit rates. This is pretty low. Yeah, you're lacking a gem. This is also pretty low, and that's because of, well, this is not low, but I will change this to HP percent. This is also low. Yeah, again, a gem, max grinds. So I see the problem. I wouldn't go. Wait. You're using a Verd without 100 crit rate. You're not using this, right? There's no way. How are you expecting Verd to do anything? Did you read the passive? It has to critical hit. Even on the water, even on the wind unit, if it has 69% crit rate, there's a good chance it's not gonna crit. Unless you have a special belief in this. I'm gonna stop right there. Okay. Rika, very squishy. Again, not on 100 res. Just don't. I see the issue. The issue is that the builds are all whack, and your runes are lacking efficiency, which is probably the reason why the builds look like this. I don't want to give you a team or anything right now, knowing that your builds are all over the place. If anything, I could strongly say maybe your runes do not support 24 units. Did you pull these recently? You're not even using them. That's fine, don't use them. Don't use them. You know what? Yeah, stop with these. Like, they don't work. Especially with the rune quality you have. I see why that you have a 50% win rate, because the builds look like an F2 player build. Or even lower, to be fair. I'm surprised you got 50% win rate and climbed to F3 with this. It's just out of the world. I think everything else is fine. I wouldn't use that either. 19 units. We could put back the Giselle. Giselle's not bad. But you have to know when to pull it out. Yeah, that's what I have to say. Your builds are bad. If anything, watch other high-level players on what they prioritize. You really have to prioritize effective HP, unless you think you could cleave and just wipe out their team. If you don't account for effective HP is what allows you to have a prolonged fight. But things like this, where was that Rika? I guess I took it out. Like, why did you give so much effective HP to this Bellanis when he's more of a control damage dealer? Well, more of a damage dealer, to be fair. You need the effective HP on units like this, because first of all, you want Leo to survive. If you are bringing him out for his passive, you're trying to counter the opponent's speed scaling units. But if Leo dies in a couple turns, those speed scaling units now are back alive, and they could do whatever they want to do. So it's always in your benefit, especially if you're the person that brought it out, for Leo to stay alive the longest. And I think that's what you're trying to go for when I saw the 100 res. But then that has to be paired with good effective HP, which, put it simply, have high HP. I understand that you want high attack too, but you can't have everything. This looks like it's on the attack build, seeing that right now. Yeah, it is. Maybe go HP attack. I will advise HP, and try to get attack from the substats. And you could do that by getting more efficient runes. Yeah, see, like these runes are extremely inefficient. 130. That's not good. 130 is probably like 80 something percent efficiency. This is like horrendous. So that's all I have to say for now. I think you have to learn how to build units. I think that's the first. I think it doesn't matter about team building right now. I think first you have to learn how to rune units. You have to learn how the build should look like on the units you're runing up. And the easiest way to do that is watch other streamers. You can watch my videos. You can watch obviously high RTA player videos, and those will give you an idea. Don't look at just like cleavers, because they're built different. Most cleavers, especially if up to like C3 range that do it really easily, or maybe even the P range, they could not care about effective HP. They don't care. They just care about going first, one-shotting unit. It's just about how much damage you could output, how much turn cycling you could get, how much control you could get. So if they believe that if they take the first turn, then the builds are just focused to control and do the most damage in most cases. If you're trying to imitate that, you have to remember that you have to be fast and you have to mimic their playstyle, going first turn cleave in most cases. If you're not doing that, then effective HP is a thing. Yeah, but that was it for this review, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want account reviews like this, please join my Patreon. If you guys want account improvements, join my Discord, fill out the Google form, or you can go to the description below. The link to the Google form is right there. That was it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.